So now let's come to lecture example 2, which can help us to apply the 5 steps of ABC. Here we go. Right, let me go to example question 2. Here we go. Yeah, that's right. Here we go. Right, so the same example we did in absorption costing. This is the same question as you see, but if you look here, so this is question number 1. Just let me show you. We have the 3 products here, and we have the £80,000, and they ask you to calculate the traditional costing. But with this one, as you see, we've got the same figures here, okay, and the difference here, the £80,000, the £80,000 is broken down. Can you see? It's broken down here. So the production overhead is broken down into the activities, including 4 activities or 4 costs, including the machine cost, component cost, setup cost, and packing cost. Can you see, guys, here? So this is the difference here. Right, in terms of each activity, when we explained in the lecture, if you remember, each activity, it does need a cost driver, and these are the cost drivers here. These are the cost driver here. Okay, and of course you need to prepare the full production cost per unit and profit per unit for the 3 product using A, B, C. So now when it comes to what's called step 1, is given for you, don't worry about it. But when it comes to step 2, so what you need to do, you need to match the activity with the cost driver, which makes it really easier to match. Just machine cost, what's the cost driver? Of course you would say total machine hours. Yeah. Component cost, of course you would say number of components, which is 4, 6, 20, 30, isn't it? Number of setup cost, setup cost 30,000, you would say number of setups, which is here, production setups, which is 30. And the packing cost, the packaging cost, you would say, of course, the number of customer orders. Yeah, because if there is no customer orders, there's no packaging cost, isn't it? Right. So you match the activity with the cost driver. Now let's apply the 5 steps I told you about. The first step I told you is given. Don't worry about it. It's the question broken down for you, so don't worry about it. Now in step 2, we've just done it right now, which we match the activity with the cost driver. So easy. Yeah. For step 3, you need to calculate the OER. Now remember, under traditional costing techniques, we calculated only 1 OER, but here we need to calculate 4 OERs because we have 4 activities, and these 4 activities, they have 4 different cost drivers, and we did say that we need to calculate 1 OER for each. Okay, in this case, let's start with the first activity, which is the machining cost. So again, remember, if you go back, you will remember that the formula for OER, production overhead cost divided by activity level. When it comes to activity level, we did say either number of units, machine hours, or number of labor hours. So here under ABC, the activity level would be the coast drivers, would be the cost drivers. Okay, that's great. When it comes to the first one, the machining cost, the cost driver number of machine hours. So the production cost is £5,000, as you see. Machining cost £5,000, and you need to divide it by number of machine hours, which is 16,000 machine hours. Did you remember we calculated in question number 1, if you remember? So this is 31 pence per machine hour. This is the first OER. Okay. The second OER is the component cost. For the component cost, if you look at the production cost here, you will see it's £15,000, and you need to divide it by number of components, which is 30. Here we go. 15,000 divided by 30 equal 500 component. £500 per component. Great. So in terms of setup cost, again the same stuff. £30,000, which is the setup cost. Can you see? And you divide it by number of production setups here. Okay. And this is the answer here. The £1,000 per setup. On the last OER here, we have the packaging cost. If you go to the question, you will see that the packaging cost is £30,000, and you divide it by number of customer orders. Okay, number of customers, which is 50. Here we go. Nice. £600 per order. £600 per order. Great. So step 3 done. Step 3 done. You need to calculate the OER, which we have done it. Now we go to step 4. Step 4, what we need to do, we need to absorb the activity cost into the product. So we need to absorb the activity cost into the product. How we do this? Very simple. Let me show you how to do it. First of all, what you need to do, you need to list the 4 overhead or the 4 activities here. Can you see? So you need to list the 4 activities here. You need to list the 4 activities here, and then you need to do the calculation. Right, let me show you. If we start with machining cost, look here, what you need to do, very simple. In order to calculate these for each product, what you need to do, let me show you. Right, the 31 pence, which is the OER for the machine cost, you multiply it by each hours for each product. What do I mean by this? 5,000 machine hours, that goes for sky. This multiplied by this goes to moon, and this multiplied by this goes to the sun. Can you see? For component, the same stuff. 500 times 4 goes to the sky. 500 times 6, 3,000. 500 times 20 goes to the sun. Can you see? Setup cost, here we go, 600 times 21. Where is it? Oh, are we set up? We finished setup yet? Okay, let me do the packaging. 600 times 21. Where is it? 12,600. 600 times 4. 600 times 25. Anyway, this is the way you do it, guys. This is the way you do it. Once you've done it, you add up all the production overhead. Can you see here? Yeah. That's 19,150. That's total production overhead for the sky. Total production overhead for the sky. If you divide it by number of units in order to find the overhead cost per unit. If you divide it by number of units, you should find out the overhead cost per unit equal 4 pence. Overhead cost per unit equal 4 pence. Okay, so again you are gonna do the same for the moon, and again the same for the sun. Okay, so step 5, the last step, which you need to calculate the cost per unit. Again, so material, labor, no issues here. Our issue is with the overhead. We are doing ABC because of overheads. How is important this overhead? So we just calculated here using the overhead cost per unit here. In step 4, you copy paste here, and these we have all the cost per unit here, including the 7 pence, 17 and 4 pence. If you add them together, so this is 28 pence, the full production cost per unit. 28 pence. Of course, if you want to find out the profit per unit, what you need to do, you need to take away the sales selling price per unit, which is 50 pence. Again, it's in the question. So 50 pence minus 28 pence equal 22 pence. 22 pence. And the same for the moon and the same for the sun. So these are the 5 steps you need to apply. Again, guys, as you see, it's really straightforward. The only with ABC is a bit lengthy, but once you practice it, you should be able to do it right. So in summary, okay, this is the results. This is the results under traditional absorption costing in W1 in question number 1, and this is under ABC. Can you see? So what is the interesting part here? What is really the interesting part here? The interesting part here that we thought that we are making a loss for the moon, but actually we are making a profit, isn't it, per unit? And we thought that we are making a profit per unit for the sun, but in real we are making a loss, 6 pence. So as you see, it's different. It's different between the traditional and ABC, and I trust ABC more. I trust ABC more. So as you see now, if you just look at this example, right? Let me show you. We have 20 components in the sun. If you go to the sun, can you see the sun? Let me show you. Yeah, look, this is the components. Yeah, we've got 20 components for the sun, 6 components for the moon, and sky 4 components. Logic, you would say the sun should be charged more in terms of component cost because they have the highest, and this is ABC what they're doing, compared with only 6 in the moon. It's therefore fair to say the sun receives more of the component cost. Yeah, this is the point. This is the point we are making here, guys. Same with what? With the number of customer orders. If you go here, you will see that the sun has the highest customer order. Can you see? Highest customer orders compared with the sky and the moon. In this case, is it fair to say that the sun should receive what more cost of what of the customer order with the customer cost of the packaging cost? That's my point. Yeah, this is why we expect that the sun to make a loss here, right? This is the point here, guys. Why ABC is important, why ABC makes the cost per unit accurate, because it does show and it does relate it to specific product. What caused this cost? It refers to this specific product. It's not like traditional costing, absorption cost. We don't care We don't really look at how many components or how many customer orders. We don't really care. We're just using machine hours or labor hours to absorb, and that's it. Yeah, but here ABC makes more reliable and more accurate. So remember, so our worry as a financial controller, you worry mainly about the sun, and because the sun is making a loss, and now you need to consider 3 possible scenarios. You might increase the price, selling price, or you might decrease the expenses if you can, of course. And another solution could be, the last would be drop the production line. Okay. Now, what are the advantages of ABC, of the merit of ABC? Very simple when it comes to ABC advantages and merits. Yeah. So first of all, remember, once you've got the information, once you've got the data, so it will make your life easier to apply ABC. So remember, the most important thing I did mention many times, that it does focus the attention on what causes cost to increase the cost of driver. I told you guys, so when it comes to, for instance, to packaging cost, if there is no customer orders, there is no packaging cost, and this is the point here. Also, when it comes to absorption rate, how is closely linked to the causes of overheads. Absorption rates more closely linked to causes of overhead because of many cost drivers are used, and this is again the point here, guys. So in terms of cost control, again, when it comes to ABC does give you the right cost per unit, and of course, as a business, if you know the right cost and the right cost per unit, of course, this does help you to have the right price for this product. And of course, if you have the right price for this product, this means that you will know that if you are making a profit or making a loss. Criticism of ABC, again, disadvantages of ABC, mainly, I would say straight away, costly and time consuming, and it's difficult to obtain the data. Here we go. Again, as I said, complex. It's complex. We need a lot of information. Cost drivers might be difficult to identify, So sometimes the business could identify different cost drivers to each activity. Time consuming, as you see, we've done just a small equation, and it's time consuming, and of course is a bit costly. So here, same disadvantages here. We've just done it, and the same disadvantages of ABC. We have just done it. Okay. Now the question you need to ask yourself: cost benefit. Anything in life, there's a cost versus benefit. Anything you want to do in life, you ask yourself, is it worth it? Yeah, is it worth it? If you buy something, the first thing you ask yourself, is it worth it? It does have value for money. I'm not talking about is it cheap or not cheap. Forget about the cheap. I'm talking about it does have value for money. If yes, here we go. Great. If not, no need for it. Again, when it comes to ABC, to apply ABC, I can't answer this question. The business can answer this question. But the business needs to consider if they have a high percentage of overhead, if they have a complex business operation, if they have a diversity of products. I think the ABC will help them to address the issues and also to benefit from this, of course. When it comes to small businesses, might be costly to them. Suitability of absorption costing. I did mention that businesses with low overhead cost, businesses with low diversity of products, this comes as a suitable to absorption costing. But the opposite, businesses which has more overheads, complex business, competition high, and diversity of product, again ABC is the right one here. So what is the implications of ABC? I did mention about the implication. Implication. I'll explain them quickly now. In terms of, I did say in terms of pricing. So when ABC, it does give the business the right. Or the accurate cost per unit. This means that the business will price the product, and then of course the business will know if they making a profit or making a loss. There's a lot of businesses, I'm being serious, there's a lot, and you look at the news and the articles, yeah, there's a lot of businesses, they think they are making a profit of selling specific units, but in the actual they are making a loss. Again, one of the things is called that it's related to overhead cost per unit. It's very important here. And now why we call it overhead? Because overhead becomes really complex. Overhead cost becomes really high percentage of cost overheads. So the business try to reduce this overhead cost as much as they can. Of course, it does help in decision making. It depends what you're gonna do in the product. And one of the things, you increase the selling price, you decrease the cost, or you drop the line. That's one of the things you need to decide, and ABC can help. Also, it does help in budgeting, in terms of forecasting. Also does help in terms of how to improve the quality of the product, and also how to reduce the overhead costs. As you see, it's really important, ABC, and it does really help when it comes to a better decision making. Always put it in your head here, ABC absorbs overheads more accurately and should therefore results in better decision making. Always remember this, because this is important when it comes to ABC. So you've got lecture 3 examples. Lecture 3 examples, you can find it from lecture examples on the Excel sheet. It is only a question which consists the traditional costing and the ABC. We've just done 2 examples, and you are practicing on this one, and I'm sure you will get it right. Right, excellent. Here we go. So again, practice. This is the key here. If you practice more, you will get confident more. Remember, ABC is very important topic, so it's not challenging, but it's lengthy, and the key is to practice. So any question, guys, so let me know. Otherwise, have a lovely day. God bless.